Thank you. All right, so welcome to the miracle class, day 8 of the 40 days. And so, like I said, we're on a roll on this miracle 40 days awakening seminar. I'm just mixing everything up now. I can recognize that too. It's like that's how intense it is, I guess. It doesn't really matter the form, but the content and the things that are happening in terms of all the undoing that takes place must be like obvious by now after a week in this program. I speak for myself when I recognize that. It's like, yeah, that's really intense. It's a beautiful, cleanup, really. It's like it's a cleanup. All kinds of stuff comes up for healing. Certain situations that were normal, but now suddenly are much more in your face than before. So the need for moments of quiet and the miracle and light become more obvious too. And so that's great. That's why we come together and meet to let ourselves be nurtured by this light and allowing ourselves to become open to receive the miracles that are given. And the miracles are then really the shifts into, say, the vertical perception instead of the horizontal perception. And it's not just perception. So the shift that takes place is a really like out of time shift. And that feels different, has a different quality than your whatever is normal for you. Because I cannot speak of that. I have no idea what your experience is. It is just recognizing that in a state of recognition of your true source, it is a totally different story. Suddenly all the concerns about the body disappear. You don't even feel the pain that you felt a moment before. And it's not just about that. No, the most wonderful thing that occurs is that you feel the connectedness and the joy of your love for God and your love that you can feel. So that is the offering of today too, to become so still, to let yourself be, say, inspired literally to miracles, to open up your mind completely for a miracle-minded, moment. So I will change, I will mix the miracle principles with music. So it will be quiet, slowly, just to slow down. Just to become open, to feel fully what is being offered, to give yourself the time to rest in these miracle principles that are given. And they're beautiful. So it's a joy to read them, one thing, and it's great to accept them. And it's great to give them away. And so this is what you do to your brother. You have an opportunity to give a miracle. And how that works, you'll see. It will be given how to give that away. But also these miracle principles will tell you what it isn't and what it is. And how to do that, so to speak. It's not a doing really, but it's more like loving your brother completely in that is natural. Like it's an act of love. It's a service. It's a service to your brother. So one of us said it the other day. It's like a miracle is a service. It's a service. It's like the greatest service you can offer your brother. And there's really something asked of you in that you love your brother. You love your brother. Then it's a natural thing to experience a miracle together, to recognize, oh my God, our minds are joined. There's just one of us. Oh, how lovely is that to experience that fully. So this meeting is for that. And it's just remembrance, an active present moment remembrance of something that you haven't experienced before. It is fresh and new. You have no idea about it in that sense. So these inspirations that are given here are enhancing your, say, miracle mindedness. So the music that I chose are some soundtracks of pretty old movies, but for me they're related with these miracle principles. And hey, let's see what it does with you when you hear them. It's just very lovely. So welcome everyone, even if you came in a little later. So welcome to this class. It's really great. We're going to get started with the miracle principles. I'm going to read them and say sometimes do music, sometimes silence. You'll see. So sit back and relax and let this come to you. Or sit on the edge of your seat and be completely open. Whatever works for you. Sometimes it helps to stand up and just move around a little bit and listen. So I cannot tell you what to do. You have to receive this for yourself. Whatever works for you is the best. So relax and sit back and breathe. Don't forget to breathe. And here are the miracle principles then. So the thing to remember about miracles is that there is no order of difficulty among them. One is not harder or bigger than the other. They're all the same. Miracles do not matter. They are quite unimportant. They occur naturally as an expression of love. That's why you will recognize them. The real miracle is the love that inspires them. In this sense, everything that comes from love is a miracle. I'm going to repeat this one more time. Miracles occur naturally as an expression of love. The real miracle is the love that inspires them. In this sense, everything that comes from love is a miracle. All miracles mean life, and God is the giver of life. He will direct you very specifically. Miracles are habits. They should be involuntary. They should not be under conscious control. Consciously selected miracles are usually misguided, and this will make the talent useless. Miracles are natural. When they do not occur, something has gone wrong. Miracles are everyone's right, but purification is necessary first. Miracles are natural. Miracles are everyone's right, but purification is necessary first. Miracles are a form of healing. They supply a lack and are performed by those who have more for those who have less. Miracles are everyone's right, but purification is necessary first. Miracles are a form of healing. Miracles should be involuntary. They should not be under conscious control. Miracles are a form of healing. They supply a lack and are performed by those who have more, for those who have less. Miracles are a kind of exchange. Like all expressions of love, which are always miraculous in the true sense, the exchange reverses the physical laws. A miracle is the reversal of the physical order because it brings more love to the giver and receiver. A miracle is a reversal of the physical order because it brings more love to the giver and the receiver. Prayer is the medium of miracles. Prayer is the natural communication of the created with the Creator. Through prayer, love is received, and through miracles, love is expressed. Prayer is the medium of miracles. Prayer is the natural communication of the created with the Creator. Through prayer, love is received, and through miracles, love is expressed. A miracle is a beginning and an ending. It thus abolishes time. It is always an affirmation of rebirth, which seems to go back, but really goes forward. It undoes the past in the present, and thus releases the future. A miracle is a beginning and an ending. It thus abolishes time. It is always an affirmation of rebirth, which seems to go back but really goes forward. It undoes the past in the present and thus releases the future. So this is something that you might see in these weeks too, in these moments that we come together, or in the time in between. Like old memories come up, and it's like, where did this come from? I had no idea. And it comes up for a reason. It comes up for healing. So it's really like, it seems that you're going backward in time, but that's really not the case. So it's like, let everything come up. Release everything that you can. This is the time for that. You know, it's like this is a dedicated time to healing of, say, old associative memories that you have connected in your body as a memory. They come up and they can be released now. They can be set free. So in that sense, you release your future. That is the miraculous part of this intention that we have. It's like we come together with that purpose to be healed and to heal. And so this is confirming that what is happening. So it's not that you have to think about it as, oh my God, I'm not doing something right, because all these old memories and old relationships and old who knows what comes up are suddenly so in my awareness. It's not because you have a setback or something. No, it's great. It's coming up for healing now, and you're ready to let that be healed. In that, and by doing so, setting your future free, not only of yourself, because you can never be healed alone. So that is so great with the miracles. It's literally your investment in having this healing occur to you is setting everyone free. A miracle is a beginning and an ending. It thus abolishes time. It is always an affirmation of rebirth, which seems to go back but really goes forward. It undoes the past in the present and thus releases the future. Miracles attest to truth. They are convincing because they arise from conviction. Without conviction, they deteriorate into magic, which is mindless and therefore destructive, or rather, the uncreative use of mind, with a capital M. Without conviction, they deteriorate into magic, which is mindless and therefore destructive, or rather, the uncreative use of mind. Each day should be devoted to miracles. God created time so that man could use it creatively and convince himself of his own ability to create. Time is a teaching device, and as a means to an end, it will cease when it is no longer useful for facilitating learning. Miracles are teaching devices for demonstrating that it is more blessed to give than to receive. They simultaneously increase the reserve strength of the giver and supply the lack of strength in the receiver. Miracles are the absence of the body. They are sudden shifts into invisibility, away from the lower order reality. That is why they heal. Miracles are the absence of the body. They are sudden shifts into invisibility, away from lower order reality. That is why they heal. So there are many of them, as you recognize now. So I'm going to give you a song and first have a bit of quiet. So it's not that you have to understand these miracle principles. So you let them in. You let them work for you. It's like, oh yeah, well, here's the miracle. Oh yeah. It is not by my doing that this happens. It is, I received this. I'm recognizing them. It's more like a recognition than anything else. A miracle is a service. It is the maximal service that one soul can render another. It is the way of loving your neighbor as yourself. The doer recognizes his own and his neighbor inestimable value simultaneously. A miracle is a service. It is the maximal service that one soul can render another. It is a way of loving your neighbor as yourself. The doer recognizes his own and his neighbor's inestimable value simultaneously. Like the neighbor's inestimable value. So who is your neighbor? Like, well, there's somebody not your neighbor in that sense. So how do you come to loving your brother as yourself? How do you come to loving your brother and seeing her inestimable value? For me, it always helps to use the word thank you a lot and to feel more than to think about someone. It's like, despite all appearances, despite every idea that you have about anyone, you feel. And you go back to that, you feel. And you come to the idea of thank you, to gratitude. Not that you can say just get into the feeling of gratitude, but it is like thank you is really like the key to open your heart, really to maybe first say it without even meaning it, and suddenly it's like, oh, I'm actually really grateful. Suddenly I start to feel that too. Like right now I'm really grateful that you are here in this meeting together with me, and that we can read this in all quiet, like I have nothing else to do but this. I give it away. And I come slowly but certainly to the realization, oh my God, I'm so grateful for what is happening here, where I find myself. Like I want to feel that from the top of my head to my toes. Like wholeheartedly I want to feel that. And take time to feel that. So it is like the same as what it says in the beginning of one of the miracle principles, purification first is necessary. And it is like, well, that's exactly what you feel can stand in between. It's like something needs to get out of the way for me to feel that, whatever that is. Like maybe I hold an idea about someone or something, or I'm not satisfied with this, or I have a little disappointment going on, or who knows what that is. It really doesn't matter. But you can feel sometimes, like maybe now at this point, that there's something in between for you to even feel the love for your brother. So yeah, let's stay right there and say, allow that to open up. So maybe just for the sake of it, touch this place, like touch your heart place, and start saying thank you a couple of times, in which you really say that to yourself first. So thank you so much, thank you so much, thank you so much, thank you so much. See, and then at the same time we include, in fact, God in. We include God in. And I do so, like it's not coming from up there or something, but still, it's like, yeah, inside of me. I include God and everything in. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. this quiet, this stillness, and these miracles that we're talking about are completely, say, outside the associative parameter that you're used to. It's like absolutely, completely outside of it. It's like this is literally coming to us, and we can receive that and give it away. So a miracle would already be to feel that love, right? It's like, oh yeah, what can I do to let that sink in deeply into me, to feel that stir of love in me. I know that. I know it's there. I know it's there. And I want it. I want it so badly to be felt. Like I want to feel that. Show me what that is. Show me what that is. I'm open to receive that. Show me what it is. Show me what the love of God is. Show me what it means to say, love my brother. Show me what that is. And so by opening up for it, it can come to you like immediately. It doesn't necessarily have to take time. No, this is for you. Hey, this is your natural, say, beingness that is given to you. It's not something alien to you. No, it's what you are. So it's uncomplicated. It is simple. It is your being, your wholeness, your, whatever word. I don't even want to use a word for it. You know it. You recognize it. Miracles, here's the purification part too. Like miracles are natural expression of total forgiveness. Through miracles, man accepts God's forgiveness by extending it to others. The second step is inherent in the first because light cannot tolerate darkness. Light dispels darkness automatically, by definition. So miracles are natural expressions of total forgiveness. Through miracles, man accepts God's forgiveness by extending it to others. So we're talking here about total forgiveness, like you hold nothing against your brother, you hold nothing against yourself, you hold nothing against God. Then it's open. Then it's like, oh yeah, now it can flow. But that needs to happen first. So, see, in what I'm reading, in the moments that we're still, every time that you feel something coming up, release whatever you can. Like release that idea. Sink into that what you feel. To release it. To allow it to be healed. And that's really a subtle shift. It's a subtle shift that happens. But you can feel it coming up, and then you could wash it away with a thought, but that's not what you're going to do. So you allow that to release. You don't want to hold on to it. It's like, okay, well, in these 40 days I'm doing things differently in terms of, normally I would just say, think it away or something like that, but now, not this time. This time I'm really going to release this holding on idea to any idea I hold against anyone, whether that's my spouse, whether that's my child, whether that's my grandmother, whether that's my mother-in-law, whether that's my sister, and on and on and on and on. Like my neighbor, my family, my partner, my friends, my whoever you meet, my boss, my employees, my who knows what. You know what I'm talking about. So it's all inclusive. Like total forgiveness is all inclusive. It works for everyone. And you're going to release your ideas that you hold by giving them away. It's like, okay, I'm not going to use these anymore against myself, because that's the only thing that I'm doing. I'm the one not feeling the love of God in me. So that purification that we're talking about needs to take place in me and no one else. And that's And that's great, because when you allow that, when you release your holding on and your fight against yourself, when you release that, you're free of it, and you set everyone free. A miracle reawakens the awareness that the spirit and not the body is the altar of truth. This is the recognition that leads to the healing power of the miracle. A miracle reawakens the awareness that the spirit and not the body is the altar of truth. This is the recognition that leads to the healing power of the miracle. A miracle rearranges the order of perception and places the levels in their true perspective. This heals at all levels, because all sickness comes from confusing the levels. That's an interesting one, huh? A miracle rearranges the order of perception and places the levels in their true perspective. This heals at all levels, because all sickness comes from confusing the levels. You don't have to understand it in order for it to work this way. A miracle is a miracle. It works anyway. Lord, heal me is the only legitimate prayer. This also means, Lord, atone for me, because the only thing man should pray for is forgiveness. He has everything else. Lord, heal me is the only legitimate prayer. This also means, Lord, atone for me. Atone is then undo for me, because the only thing man should pray for is forgiveness. He has everything else. Miracles make time and tide wait for all men. They can heal the sick and raise the dead, because man himself made both death and taxes, and can abolish both. You are a miracle. God creates only that which, or one who is, of surpassing excellence of merit. Man is capable of this kind of creation too, being in the image and the likeness of his own creator. Anything else is his own nightmare and does not exist. Only the creations of light are real. You are a miracle. God creates only that which, or one who, is surpassing excellence or merit. Man is capable of this kind of creation too, being in the image and likeness of his own creator. Anything else is only his own nightmare and does not exist. Only creations of light are real. Thank you so much for joining me in this. Thank you.